Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high-level game of StarCraft 2. Today, in the top right, spawning as our red Protoss player, playing for Team Alpha X. It is Zoun. In the bottom left side of the map here, with the trademark polar bear flipping around the Nexus. It's going to be Clem, of course, playing for Team Liquid in the blue colors. Ooh, low ground gate here for Zoun. Was this an early gate or was this a standard gate? Let's have a look 16 seconds from now. That checks out. This is standard gateway timing, either a 15 or a 16 gateway. No scout whatsoever though. I really enjoy this build order against Clem. Clem is not known to proxy racks, but Clem does like to play eBay blocks sometimes. So against both of these, against regular play as well as against a eBay block, having the gateway on the low ground is actually quite nice. I think the worst case scenario is probably if Clem decides to actually just open up with a straight up Reaper from like a 1 Rex expand, then jumps into your main base. But I think if you have a core before Nexus, it's going to be fine majority of the time, honestly. I don't really see any major downsides with this type of build order. You always have the possibility as, oh, what is this crap? You're not actually going to be waiting with 2 tropes until this assimilator finishes, right? You can, oh my god. I hate this type of inefficiencies. Like, you're not scouting, which allows you to mine more. Oversaturating a base temporarily is way better than letting 2 or 3 probes wait for the assimilator to finish. Even if you only get 10 minerals, it's still 10 minerals that you're getting. Now we're getting oversaturation on the gas instead. This makes very little sense in my mind. Do have the adept being sent out. Is going to catch this Reaper most likely. Oh, here we go. Up on the ramp. Ooh. Look at that, just straight up sending this across the map as well, not hesitating for a second as the battery is finishing up, and not a single probe will die, or at least I can't really imagine a probe dying against this. Okay, it's going to be Marine as a follow-up, so Reaper into Reactor, Marine, Hellion, most likely a Mine as a follow-up. I'd be surprised to see a second car here, is a possibility, but just a little bit more rare. Like this opener though, really do like this opener. Twilight Council coming down here for Zoun as he scouts or shades back with his adept. He saw the lack of a command center. Was like, hey, there's no real reason for me to be across the map anymore. Threw down the Cybernet or threw down the Twilight Councils, getting the gateway now as well. This is a good start overall. This is a really quite a nice start. Almost managed to get that that Reaper there actually. Clem needs to be so careful. This Reaper is going to provide him a lot of value in scouting, figuring out what's going on. Zoun probably wants to throw down a robotics facility at this point. Yeah, there we go. Robotics facility at a pretty standard timing. Curious if this is going to be like a 3-gate or a 4-gate. Okay, sounds opting for a 3-gate indeed. Just interested into seeing how he's going to kind of follow this up right now, you know? Is this going to be just aggression with a prism, or just want the 3rd gate for some extra added safety? So we see Clem open up with a mine drop that's not hitting particularly hard here either, is it? This is going to hit at 410, 415. Yes, Blink won't be done, but could have achieved the same thing here with Marine into Factory, which would have been economically a little bit more solid. Might have struggled against the initial adept if you had built the CC on the low ground, but I don't really quite see the use of playing Reaper Hellion if you're following up with such a late hitting mine drop. I mean, Blink is practically done at this point. Look at this, 109. Out of 121, we have one more chrono coming in. Reaper sees that the Blink Stalkers are out of position as this medevac pops in, and we'll get the drop on at least a single mine here. Does he get to unburrow? No, doesn't unburrow. Would have just lost the mine because Blink was available. Could have blinked down, obviously. Prism is on the way here, and that could spell trouble for Clem. Could also just be fine for Clem. Clem is getting barracks 2 and 3. First tank is out. Raven is here. 3rd gas hasn't started yet. This was all done off of 2 gases, of course. With those fast early gases, you start banking gas a little bit earlier, which allows you to get tanks easily, while also getting a Raven, not having to rush out a 3rd refinery at any point. We have 5 Stalkers, aggressively. We have 1 Stalker, and I guess some Adepts at home, or... Not sure what's happening. Where's that 6 Stalker gate? Stalkers being warped in at home right now. This is just some minor pressure, really... nothing big here, just trying to get some kills on these SCVs. We'll get 1 or 2 before being forced to pick up. Perhaps with an interference matrix though, these Stalkers could have actually died. I'm surprised Clem didn't go for that. These Stalkers were backed into a corner. if you get an interference matrix off on the Prism, every single Stalker will just end up dying. Clem, with a little bit of a brain fart there, not quite realizing that he had gold in his hands, and then accidentally dropped it. One shot, one opportunity to seize everything you ever wanted, and then you forget the interference matrix. It's not quite ideal. Follow-up here is going to be a Colossus, despite there already being a Raven on the map. So, an interesting choice here. Colossus build order is very difficult to pull off against Raven openers often, and kind of want to see how he approaches the situation. In the past, we have seen Zoun play against Raven openers with a Robo Bay, and then say, hey, rather than opening up with a straight up Colossus, I'm just going to open up with a Disruptor. Put it halfway across the map, send a Purification Nova your way the moment you start moving out. This could of course suck if there's like a double drop coming from the back, but if it's a straight up push out with tanks, like this most likely is going to be, then I actually really like that type of play. Third CC is on the way here already as a Marauder gets stuck behind the tank. The upgrades are coming in as well. We just lost 4 workers. That was against a mine drop, as the mine drop also managed to, well, basically walk out of here alive without taking any damage whatsoever. 5 Stalkers on the aggressive side of things, and this Prism just happily patrolling back and forth in this dead space. No Viking is out, that means that the Prism can go in. There's 8 gateways, there is charge that is done. Decent damage on that Raven right now. Clem needs to be careful. If he loses that Raven, he loses the potential to deal damage with this push, and that would be really bad. 2 of these Marauders do immediately start their stim. Concussive hasn't finished yet, but Marauders are scary no matter what they have, concussive or not. Zoun is paying attention, and that means that the mine needs to go up into the main base. Blink not quite available yet to chase the Medivac, at least not for now. Now we have 4 Zealots heading in towards the main. No Templar available, 2 Colossi, and this base seems to be semi-toast. I'm not sure if Koreans eat a lot of toast, I don't think so. If Zoun was a British person here, he probably wouldn't mind his base being toast. Okay, well, let me put some beans and red sauce on that. That's delicious. It's breakfast, lunch, and dinner here at the same time. Because he's a Korean, probably don't prefer toast so much, especially all with beans. Beans are not a good breakfast food. Double interference matrix, bad control here out of Zoun. Losing 1 Colossus for free. Still going to survive most likely. Killed 8 SCVs during all of this as well. The Disruptor, well, just kind of idled in the natural. Prism still alive, which is nice. Overall, good position for Zoun, right? Has the ability to move on the map. There's really no ability to do anything for Clem right now. He has 4 Medivacs, but it's just lacking the units to truly get out there and start doing things. Has a lot of mines, despite there already being Disruptors out, and still a Colossus on the map as well. So, not the ideal thing to have. Like, mines are great before Disruptors, and mines really lose a lot of their value the moment the Disruptor count starts growing. Wouldn't mind... Ooh. Second Robo and Templar Archives before Fort Base is not really what I would have liked to see here, but it is what we're getting. And sometimes in life you just have to deal with what you're getting. Triple mine drop heading out. I think this is a good use of the mines, because I don't think they're going to be super helpful anymore in straight up engagements. Clem is also aware of that as he builds the Fort Base on the far left side. 4 gas here for Zoun. +1 about to finish up as well. Once these Vikings pop out, surely this Prism is toast. It's actually gonna die. Yeah, 1 Viking does go over there. Recall needs to be quick. Let's take a look at the first person viewer out of Zoun. Sees the Viking approach. Gets the damage notification and should immediately recall. Doesn't actually didn't recall, did he? Oh, he did. I just didn't see it. He was so fast I didn't even notice it. God, I love Protoss players. Never have that with a Terran or a Zerg, that they're so fast that you don't even notice it. This Protoss clicked so insanely fast. Bang. It's completely over. Maybe did it on the minimap actually. That would have been sick. 2 mines get killed, only 3 workers die. This army moves forward. There's no real vision on this army either. Which means that all of this movement is just completely gambled here coming out of Zoun. He's gambling incorrect. Fort Base could be in a little bit of trouble right now. This mine is going to connect with some workers, but not a whole lot. 4 workers die total against 2 mines. That is not the ideal scenario at all. And this Fort Base is now going to be in some trouble. Mines are burrowing. Battery could be taken out, and then just targeting down that Nexus definitely would have been a possibility if Clem had been a bit faster, but feels like he took his sweet time over here. Armory not done yet. Mines will be revealed immediately after. And Zoun right now, the possibility of moving out definitely is here. Colossi coming in with a flank, swiping these Marauders and Marines down at a very high pace. And I don't mind this attack at all here out of Zoun. I actually kind of like this attack here out of Zoun. Zealot warping coming from the sides here as well. Do we have any Vikings? 4 Vikings. And the Raven still alive, so those Colossi should be capable of being dealt with. Very aggressive push out. That's an anti-armor missile rather than an interference matrix. There's still one available. There we go. Only one Colossus is shooting at the moment. Purification Nova going to connect with just a mine. Not all that much altogether, as more Zealots are being warped in on the far right side. The upgrade count is favorable for Clem with 1-1 against just +1. One Colossus went down, one Purification Nova boy already went down, or Disruptor as you could also call them. And this fight ends up being completely fine for Clem. It looked dangerous, it looked scary, but he completely destroys his opponent. I doubted the the anti-armor! Ooh, that was a big Purification Nova. I doubted the anti-armor missile initially, but it actually helped out a lot. -3 armor, of course, a fantastic thing to get done. I don't think this can be a drop. It's too expensive to drop and just doesn't deal damage quickly enough. You want those Marauders in there to really deal with buildings fast, and that's not going to be the case. And also, Ghosts are just so expensive. If you lose 4 of them in a drop, you just need to kill so much to make that worthwhile. Fort base is up or is going to be up and running for Clem. It is already up and running here for Zoun, who is quickly adding more and more Disruptors into the mix, saying, hey, these Colossi didn't work out so well. I bet you're making more Vikings, and that's indeed the case. And in that case, whoa. This is a tight move. Don't think that was on purpose, though. Imagine if he hits it. Just shoots it now and then hits it. Straight in the face of Clem. That would be so sick. I would love that, actually. I would super love that. I don't think it's going to happen. And that makes me a little bit sad. Clem once again going for this rotation towards the left side. Zoun this time is going to spot it. He sees the army in the middle with a Zealot. Can position himself better than the first time that happened. Zealot's moving in. One mine that was burrowed gets the shot off. There's no bunker over here, which means that these Zealots actually have some potential to deal damage. There's 2 mines that will end up burrowing in. Oh, look at that. Tries to drag the mine into the SCVs. Does a decent job. 7 workers go down. Maybe 1, 2 more. No snipes happen. And that means that Zoun will lose his SCVs. But he wants some... Zoun loses his Zealots, but wants some time. Infantry weapons level 2 finishing up. Big blink forward here, sniping out 2 medevacs. That means that only 3 medevacs remain. Purification Novas coming in for zoning purposes. Takes out a couple of Marauders and Marine as well. Pushes through this choke immediately and says, hey, I want to go for your 3rd base, but I think there's only 1 Purification Nova left right now, and that is going to be it for the zoning. I'm not so sure if this was actually enough. I don't think it is. Do we have force fields available? No, we don't at all. And Clem is just going to absolutely roll over this army. Look at that. Snipes going down. Disruptors being sniped here. One more Disruptor goes down. Goes down as Clem just eats a massive Disruptor ball straight to the face. Oi, oi, oi. Zoun asking if Clem has ever met Candice. I was like, Candice? Sounds like, yeah, can these balls fit on your Marauders? And they definitely could. Because holy crap. Oh no, what is this, Zoun? What a pretty decent fight, but now it's going to struggle. Clem sends out a double mine drop towards the far right side immediately. There's a cannon available, so I probably want to send it into the main base. Could drop here. I think that's out of range of the cannon if you actually borrow it. Oh, well, that one's going to get taken out for free. Yeah, no vision here whatsoever. Oh, retarget. Retarget there would have been huge. Clem is just massively ahead currently. 180 supply against 127. All he needs to do is walk across the map and finish the game. At least that's what it feels like to me right now. Big ball coming in. And poof. Takes out 2 Marauders, 1 Marine. Mine gets sniped for free as well, as 1 or 2 Zealots will end up dying. New Purification Nova gets sent out. And will not really connect with anything. 1 more Disruptor here. But that is going to be it for the Purification Novas. Clem right now has a hall pass to move wherever he wants, basically. He can move to the left, he can move to the right, he can clear the rocks. He can do it all night. He's free. He can actually pull off whatever he wants. No 3-3 starting yet for Clem is a little bit disappointing. I feel like continuing that upgrade dominance is definitely worth it. in case the game does go a little bit longer. Disruptors take out the mine that was buried on the far right side. Here come the Disruptors. Big EMP hitting. Super battery though being useful. That was that was 25 supply at once. Good target fire, targeting down the full medevac as well. Game turning around at once. 15 units. Most of those being Ghost, I think, and a couple of Marauders in the mix as well. That probably was legitimately like 25 to 30 supply in one go. It's one of the biggest Disruptor shots I've seen in my entire life. Huge stuff. Is Clem just getting a little bit too cocky there? Truly believing that he could move anywhere. Couldn't, of course, move into those Disruptor shots. Zoun maybe wants to just back it up for a millisecond here. As the Purification of us running dry once more. Viking count is non-existent, so this Colossus is going to be great. At the same time, there's so many Marauders that the Colossus isn't actually going to be insanely useful. A couple of Vikings are being built, and once more Clem just taking a good trade. Takes a bad trade, takes a good trade, takes a bad trade, takes a good trade. And it just keeps kind of alternating here. More Zealots being sent into their death, as these two mines will get taken out before they get to connect with anything useful. Perhaps, no. Thought that Disruptor might end up dying, but not the case. Couple of seconds, 9 or so, we'll have another Purification Nova. Big EMP hitting a lot of these units. Do we have enhanced shockwave? Yes, we do. We don't have the armor upgrade on the way though for Clem, who's still massively ahead in supply. 64 against 82 right now. 177. Whoa. Oh! No, nothing hit. There's no more Purification Novas available right now. There we go. Mine hits from the back. As these Zealots are pushing in. There's another mine over here. 2 more Disruptors coming into. Good scan out of Clem, just making sure there's nothing on the right side. Otherwise, you can always split off part of your army. Feels like the army for Clem isn't actually that large, but he's still taking fine fights. I mean, 100 supply against 92. Big blink forward. It's not quite working out, I don't believe, here for Zoun. Purification of a could help out. Takes out a mine. That is interesting. That is big. That is cool. Blink away. No blink away. Okay. That mine definitely did some damage. There's a planetary here. Don't really think Zoun has the ability to do anything about it. Huge flank coming in. Good splits coming out of Clem as well, as this EMP is going to connect with some of these Disruptors. Colossus is struggling. We have a jump forward on top of these Disruptors. We have, is that a Purification of available? No, we don't. I mean, how many Disruptors have gone down here? 17 Disruptors. A Disruptor a minute. And don't forget that we didn't start building Disruptors till like the 7-minute mark or so. So really it's been more like 1.5 Disruptors a minute that have been going down. That is a very high pace of losing Disruptors. A very high pace. 30 mines have also gone down. Constant mine production still here. Clem finding use for them every single time. Struggling to finish the game, as he managed to fly his main base over to his 6th base location. The moment you do something like that, you kind of want to start attacking through the left side, because that automatically defends your left side base. And as your right side base is a planetary, it can fend for itself and doesn't need your units to be there at all times. I'd love to see this army, maybe with like 2 medevacs, move forward a little bit. Have a mine in this position as well, would just be so useful. Almost feels like there's too many Ghosts here, too many Vikings for what they're really fighting against. Like you're lacking actual bio units. You lack the ability to split off properly. And I think 8 Vikings against a single Colossi Protoss could actually be kind of detrimental here. 64 workers for Zoun. Means his army is going to be a little bit bigger. Tries to snipe Vikings. This is not useful. Sniping Vikings is not useful. There's enough to kill all your Colossi. So you might as well not focus on it whatsoever. Those are some big, potentially Purification Novas. Gets a bunch of Ghosts. This is the type of army I wanted to see perhaps a little bit earlier. Disruptors moving towards the far right side. We still have some Purification Novas available here. I think maybe one more. Clem dodges everything on the left side. Super battery gets activated. First Disruptor dies. Second Disruptor dies, bringing the total up to 19. Can we get a blink? No, we can't. And the left side, it's just too many Vikings. Now finally Liberators are being produced. +2 ship weapons has been done for a little while already. It's definitely going to be very useful the moment these Libs manage to siege up in a good location. Okay, here we go. This is a small army here out of Clem actually. Does not look very big at all. Lots of Marines and Marauders are stimming into it. Mine count still at 7. These 2 mines are in a completely useless position. Wouldn't mind to see them move up a little bit. As Liberator set up. Advanced Ballistics not entirely done yet. Turret in trouble. Mine dies. So also in trouble. Dying usually is considered to be a bad thing. Very little people that truly look forward to that moment. So we have... ooh! Poof. Purification Nova almost hitting. Advanced Ballistics is, well, 20 seconds away from finishing. The moment that finishes, this position becomes a lot scarier all of a sudden to defend for Zoun. Look at this, moving forward at a very high pace. Marauders joining in on the fun as well. How many lips do we have total? 4. I would love every single lip to just show up right now, because this position is absolutely ace. If Liquid Clem manages to hold this position, I think he could just straight up win the game here. Blink forward. No EMP on the Stalkers. That means that +2 Liberators still need 2 shots to clear all of those Stalkers, and with EMPs of course only need 1 shot. Huge difference here. This was a good fight for Clem. Resources lost probably was pretty close, pretty even, but because Clem is mining so much more than his opponent, has many more workers, I think that was okay, as long as he doesn't actually end up losing something like a base or even more units in the retreat. EMP needs to hit, EMP needs to hit, it's not hitting at all. Purification Nova's taking out a lot of these mines, 16, 15 workers going down. 5 more getting hit by that Purification Nova. Clem just stimming back and forth. Wanting to jump on this army, but not really being capable of doing just that. Ooh! Killed more Zealots there with that Purification Nova. The one thing I do have to admit is that a lot of these Disruptor shots have just been connecting with the Terran units. Like, we almost saw no whiffs in this game. At least a Marauder. Sometimes something bigger. I mean, the one over here, what was it? Like freaking 30 supply of units. Absolutely mental. +3 is on the way here as well for Clem. +3 ship weapons and +3 armor is on the way right now for Zoun. So maybe some possibility for Zoun, who's been stuck on 64 workers this entire game. Just too afraid to really probe up and get something going. Misses a Disruptor shot on one of these mines. And now starts moving out across the map. Has a prism with this army. No, has a prism at home. Is this mine? No, it's not hitting at all. Plenty of Disruptors here. Good split off though out of Clem. Is definitely going to force the Stalkers to defend these Disruptors. That's a big shot. That could have been a big shot. Instead, just get a single ghost. 2 Disruptors are going to end up falling for free. No, not quite free, but very close to free. This Orbital Command is being forced to lift as well right now. Clem on the same time on the left side with Liberators, with a lot of units. No DTs to defend, no Disruptors defensively either. And yes, there's still 6 Disrus on the map, but I think Clem has actually done it. Overall, resources lost, Clem is behind, but in his mining, he's been so much better than his opponent. I don't even really think it's going to matter. And Zoun not only smashes that mine at his 6th base, but also attacks his own base a little bit there. Liberator in the far back is denying mining from here. Clem actually struggling to get money in as well, but once this lands, I feel like he's going to be just fine. There's 12 Liberators with 2 more on the way. Perhaps a little bit too high, but at the same time, he's just up so much supply that I don't think it's going to matter. Dual DTs moving in are going to get sniped here. No blink available for them, which means they'll just actually straight up die. We still have it's still always possible, right? You need, what, like 2-3 good Disruptor shots and all of a sudden you're back into the game. But Clem, you know, kind of cleverly just spreading his army out, saying, hey, if I can clear these bases and don't have to straight up engage into pure Disruptor, I'm going to be just fine. Once again, this Liberator still putting in the work. Oh my god, 13 kills on this Liberator. That is so crazy. Zoun has had some massive Disruptor shots that kept him alive in this game. With one of them, I think, legitimately being one of the biggest Disruptor shots I've ever seen. One of the highest value Disruptor shots. Kind of want to go back in the replay to have a look at that. But I don't really believe it's going to be good enough. You just need 1 EMP and yeah, these stars are just going to get absolutely eaten alive by the lips. Oi, 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 oi. Ooh, good splits. Oh my god, Clem. So frustrating to play against. How's it possible? Gets all of these Liberator seeds up in aggressive positions. Zoun taps out and Clem wins the game. And we're going to go back into the replay to have a look at that massive shot. Look at this. I found the Disruptor shot. It's actually insane. Look at the units lost here. So it is this one, I think. It's basically 2 at the same time. 15,510. And once it finishes, you legit just go up to 18,385. So that's almost 3k resources. 3k resources in, what is it? In 2 Disruptor shots, 1.5. The first one goes up to like 775. It's like, that's like the equivalent of legitimately 25 Zealots. Like, that is insane. That is insane value for Disruptor shots. I know that they get big shots often, but this, I don't know if it's, maybe if you hit like 10 High Templar or something like that, can you get something bigger, but that would never happen. Maybe if you get like 15 ghosts at once with a Disruptor shot, but this has to be some of the highest absolute value that I've ever seen in a game with a single spell being cast. Absolutely bonkers. Truly insane. Holy cow. Alright, that's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. Congrats to Clem to eventually still winning this game. I hope to see you all next time for a new video, and bye bye.